Any action, thought, or word I use to communicate, respond, and navigate within my personal reality is always subject to change. I often will need to say what I don't mean to realize what I do mean. But that first step of saying what I don't mean or understand, ironically enough, paves and initiates the road for my own development and deepest truth. My deepest truth for today, which is subject to change later today, or 10 years, or not at all, allowing the natural progression of expression, discovery, and wisdom without expectation, without comparison. This is how I practice viewing others. Anything anyone does, feels, or says is subject to change at any time. It's not my job or role to convince anyone of what I believe. I will offer my opinion, but never impose it. I will answer specific questions, but no, I don't need to. I strive to view every experience, person, and situation as necessary. Everyone is a reflection of me. I don't need anyone to be anything or believe what I believe, especially if it means not forming one's own opinion based on self-reliance. Life is messy. We learn what we want by experiencing what we don't. We narrow down the margins. If we are afraid to get messy, upset others, and be scrutinized, we do not grow. We are paralyzed. The same attitude goes for art. It doesn't need to be good, it just needs to exist. It can be refined. But if we worry about it being so good, so much that I don't begin, that perfectionist mindset, there will be nothing to refine. I must be the outcast wolf and the alpha wolf simultaneously, without needing to be either, without the influence of conditional praise or conditional criticism. I must be able to accept the Nobel Prize and at the same time be condemned for crimes against humanity. We can't walk on eggshells for fear of reprisal, for offending others. What offends someone today becomes their wisdom tomorrow. But if they didn't have the opportunity of being offended, they may not have examined themselves after to uncover the deeper truth. If someone is offended by our personal truth, that is something we cannot change. Everything offends someone, everything. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. Being a dictator and being a humanitarian. Demons to some, angels to others. Every great leader or philosopher is loved and hated. So here's the thing. Being offended, it's all projection. It's us being currently unaware that our discomfort is an opportunity to explore what we resist, what we do not accept about ourselves. When we live in fear of others, or we live within the margins of others' ever-changing approval rating, we live in denial. We are imprisoned. We are not free. The more safety we agree to, the more freedom is taken. We are given the poison, then we are sold the antidote. Truth is, there's no such thing as safety. Never is, never was. No one can guarantee or promise one iota of safety in this world. We are pitched scenarios of danger. If we take the bait and become fearful, we are then sold the safety. Sold the illusion of safety. Always question any person or institution that is telling you how to think and how to act. This is stifling the process of evolution. Evolution of self, and by that, everyone else. Freedom and expression are contagious, and yes, new ideas are scary, especially when challenging the old. Freedom is scary to Stockholm Syndrome. It threatens to dissipate the illusion. It sparks the question to perceive the cage we find ourselves in, as opposed to not knowing we are in a cage at all. The only true community a freethinker has is conditional. The conditions are set by the tolerance of the existing community. If you are perceived to push the threshold of one's conditional acceptance, you may be ostracized, outcast, and condemned. You may get an apology letter a few years down the line, or consistent hate mail. Half the world is people yelling from the stands how those in the court should play. Most of those people have never stepped foot on the court. Instead of challenging the fear, it's easier to blame, criticize, and tell others what they should be doing. Your freedom will never be given to you. It must be taken. It must be forged through questioning everything you see, everything you hear, and everything you feel. Most of all, your own thoughts. Be skeptical of your own thoughts. You are not your thoughts. Once you place your identity in the mind, your thoughts must be protected and defended. The only thing I know is I truly know nothing. All I have is my personal truth. My personal truth is always growing, evolving, deconstructing, and changing. If we wait for our freedom to be given, we will wait forever. I'd rather live one day free than 1,000 a slave, even if that means exile from the tribe, banishment from the land of illusion. I must be willing to be perceived as insane by the majority of those stuck in rigid, fixed institutions of illusionary safety. Be the change you wish to see in the world. Endure, and you will coincidentally provide opportunities for others' growth, if they choose so, and vice versa. It's better to be respected and hated than pitied and hated. It's better to be hated for who you are than loved for who you are not. It is said that one person can't make a difference. It's actually the only thing that ever has. The person you are is necessary, and acceptance of this is your personal task. Always remember, this is a practice, and practice isn't perfect. Perfection does not exist. Perfection is a malleable personal perspective, and it is unique to each individual's rendition, which also changes constantly. Some scenarios are inevitably more challenging than others, and the strength of our resolve differs at times. That's okay. It's normal. No self-judgment. Follow the crowd or follow your heart. The choice is yours. But from my own experience, being a people pleaser at the expense of your own happiness and path is a living hell. Hell has served its purpose. Thank you. It's shown me I can create heaven or hell, and it's always been me. I am grateful for everyone and everything, even if sometimes I resist and don't want to be. The more momentum is created, the more we choose our attitude. Our conditions are created by our attitude, and our attitude creates our conditions.